The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Good evening and welcome to Bronxtalk. Bronx epidemics of diabetes and obesity and the residual health and nutrition deficiencies are the result of many factors, including lack of access to healthy food and also a simple lack of education and awareness about how to live and eat healthier. Particularly hard hit are communities and public housing. Into the void has stepped the Department of Family Medicine at Bronx Lebanon Hospital, who has set up the Claremont Healthy Village to combat these many demons. Tonight, we're pleased to present for the first time on television a video documentary produced by Bronx teens that documents the activities of Claremont Healthy Village, but more importantly, is a clear illustration of the people of the Bronx and the health burdens they face. It's a remarkably honest and down-to-earth piece that I know that you will appreciate, especially since it was produced by Bronx teenagers. So stick around and you'll get an exclusive look tonight. We will take phone calls as well if you have questions or comments on the video or anything you see or hear on the program or want to share some personal information or ask questions, then please call in at 718-960-7241 or send us an email at bronxtalk@bronxnet.org or post a comment on the Bronx Talk Facebook page, and we'll read it on the air during a future edition of our program. But for the here and now, it's the chair of the Department of Family Medicine at the previously mentioned Bronx Lebanon Hospital, Dr. Douglas Wright. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And Ms. Marilyn Quinn, who is a patient. She's depicted in the video. Ms. Quinn, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Wright, let's start with you. Just tell me what you found and what the people at Bronx Lebanon found that inspired you to say, you know what, we have to do something, and we created this Claremont Healthy Village.
Absolutely, I'd enjoy doing so. Going back about 4 or 5 years ago, we were struck with the amount and volume of chronic illnesses that existed in the Bronx and especially in the South Bronx surrounding our hospital at Bronx Lebanon Hospital Center. So we took it upon ourselves to do an investigation and look at the health data that's available through New York State, New York City, as well as federal information and data about the health of the people that live in the Bronx. We were appalled by what we found. Of course, we had a sense, a gestalt that what existed, but when we saw those statistics, we found that issues such as obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease were rampant in the South Bronx, not to mention issues such as HIV and hepatitis C that elsewhere in the United States were on a downward trend, where yet in the South Bronx they're actually on the increase and on the rise.
If I can just interject one statistic that I know we've used on the show, the Bronx is number 62 out of 62 counties in New York State on fundamental health indicators. A very sorry statistic to report.
That's a sorry and a sad statistic, and it's actually what drives us at Bronx Lebanon and Family Medicine. We want to change those statistics.
Okay. So what did you set up? What is Claremont Healthy Village? Then we're going to bring Ms. Quinn in. Then we're going to show you this video. When I saw this video, I said, I got to put this on TV, and that's why we have it tonight. Go ahead.
So what we did was we did what we call the Hotspotter Initiative, and we looked at all comers who were admitted to Bronx Lebanon and where they came from. And we found a significant number of our patients were coming from what we call the Claremont Village, which is actually 5 housing developments of the New York City Housing Authority, a very concentrated community of a population close to 17,000 individuals living in about 17 or 18 buildings, right between the 2 facilities of Bronx, Lebanon. We then formed partnerships with various other organizations that already were in Claremont Healthy Village, including American Diabetes Association, American Heart Association, Health First, which is a managed care company, and several of the schools similarly in the community, as well as the leadership at Claremont. And we then made a significant effort to look at the health of that population and try to create change.
You know, this process that you just described is very similar to what the police call the Comstat theory, that they would say, well, where is the crime coming from? And they said, well, if it's coming from here, and then take a very close look. In essence, that's what you just described. We looked at where are our patients coming from. And I've said this to police officials all along the way. It seems crazy that it took centuries for us to figure out how to do that. Maybe for whatever reason, it took us a long time, but we're doing it now.
And indeed, that's exactly the model that we are now applying and utilizing in healthcare.
Ms. Queen, just tell me a little bit about you. You are a resident in Claremont, about your health situation, basically what conditions you had and what the folks at Bronx, Lebanon are helping you do.
Well, I was diagnosed with diabetes 1994. During this time, no one told me what I was supposed to do. I was under the impression you give me a pill and
yeah, like you have a cold or you have a headache.
That would cure it. But they never told me you got to diet, you got to change your way of eating, you need to exercise. They never told me this, even up until recent, before I started at Footwood Family Medicine. But when I started there, they gave me great instructions. I met with a girl, with Cassandra. She didn't tell me, well, you got to diet. She just told me how to change my way of eating.
How long ago was that?
I started going to her workshops like 2 years ago.
Do you feel like you're healthier or you're actually...
Much better, yes. My A1 was 10.3.
There you go. The video is actually long, and and I insisted, despite the objection of everybody around, that we show the whole thing, or at least there's 11 minutes now, it's going to be longer. So I don't want to, I'd love to chat more with you, but I want to put this video out there because it'll tell the story as well as anything. So the video is in part and parcel of this thing to document what it is, your activities.
Absolutely.
We need to thank the Bronx Documentary Center, and just a word about the teens who are involved in the production.
They came from several different high schools in and around the South Bronx, and they worked directly at the BDC, Bronx Documentary Center. They came and interviewed a variety of people that lived at Claremont, and they produced it. It's phenomenal.
It's a remarkable work. Does it have a title?
Let's see.
Well,
ladies and
gentlemen, here's the video about healthcare in Claremont called Let's See. We'll take a look. You're going to really enjoy this video, I know. So let's let it roll. Let's enjoy.
This is the poorest community neighborhood zip code nationally. The unemployment is terrible. The dropout rate from high school is horrific. Obesity, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and then the undiagnosed and underdiagnosed medical problems.
Here is a hospital that is here, that is committed to this community. And we are a health plan that has over 2,000 members in this community. And we're very confident that if we get enough stakeholders together in partnership with the community, we can make Claremont Housing a healthy village.
I grew up up in the Bronx, born and raised. I've been a community health worker in this community for 2 years. I follow currently about 87 patients, a good number of those with diabetes. So, we're gonna do it? Huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk.
But I'm saying, we're gonna like try our best to like speed walk.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna try.
Okay. See, that's all I want to hear is that you're gonna try, right? And then when we get there, we try. That's it.
My name is Kevin Jackson. I live in the Butler houses. This picture right here is me at my most. That's my most. I was like 250 pounds in that picture. I was living crazy. My mom was like, you don't know what you're doing to yourself. And I never believed it. I always just say, I ain't gonna be no diabetic. I'm not gonna get sick. Now I'm sick. I got the primary care doctor. He was like, Mr. Jackson, a few more points, you could have been taking insulin for the rest of your life. My goal is to be under 200 pounds.
So you can stand, you can stand, you can sit, and you can just try to move your legs however you can, move your arms however you can. Keep it going. Very liberating.
Continuous 8-week to 10-week sessions of diabetes workshops called Healthy Living Discussions. Basically, we want to educate the community so that they have the knowledge to empower themselves to change their ways. So again, like I always say at every session, you made the choice to be here. No one brought you here. No one dragged you here. I want to just touch base on how you're doing with your goals.
Well, I ate less this week. I'm not as hungry as I was, because I eat like the peanut butter instead of the plain white bagels.
Great. Yeah. And what I hear you doing is you're adding protein, right? So remember, protein is what's going to fill us up. And
Excuse me. You went kind of fast. I really still don't understand. Yeah. Type 1 is when it happens when you have it and it escalates.
Type 2, what diabetes you born with?
Type 1 and 2. Type 2 is when you wore it out because you ate too much sugar. And type 1 is where God wore it out because it got attacked usually in your childhood.
What's this medical device? This is for the second person. Okay. Prescription medications not filled through. Express from, So we can send them a list of all your prescriptions even though you're not.
So they want a list of all the... Oh my God. So I
could print that for you. Don't worry about that.
And like my brother passed 4 years ago and I'm not dealing with that. I have tried to deal with it, but I can't deal with it. I miss him so much. I'm like the fifth child, but I'm the last alive.
And that's, it's a lot of people. They have those deep issues, those grounded. All this stuff is beneath the surface. Yeah. Beneath, and it's hidden. It's suppressed emotions. It's all this. This is what causes us to eat and pick up addictions.
Met Cassandra and I fell in love with her. She came and she convinced me, that I should come to the program. And I've been a part of the program since it started. And I have learned so much.
You live it every single day. You wake up, it's there. You go to bed, it's there. You think about it. I think about it all the time. Every time I have to stick my finger, and I'm like, Lord, when is this going to end? You know, I'm tired of sticking my fingers. I'm tired of logging. I'm tired of taking my blood pressure. It's just something that you do every day. My mother died. She had her leg amputated. She had she had a stroke. All those things, but that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen to me.
Sansi, sit down. You won't be able to stand up for the entire time. Sit. I can see a seat by Florence. Have a seat, please. At this time, I will introduce you to 3 seniors. They are going to make presentations on diabetes and high blood pressure.
I'm discussing about when was high blood pressure first discovered. Your heart is a powerful muscle, but if it forced to work too hard, it can cause a heart attack or a stroke.
Diabetes can present many challenges. Learning how to meet those challenges is a process.
Everything I do, I want to see a result. So that is why I'm so cranky, because Health First is spending money, whether we like it or not. They are spending money to bring people here to do whatever. The other partners need to do something. If we do 10 weeks, my question is, after 10 weeks, what do we do? You cannot just leave people hanging. And I'm sorry, this is poor neighborhood minority. Don't come here and do that crap. You have to be in tune with your community, with the people. You cannot be talking highfalutin language over their head. You cannot do that. You have to come to their level and give it to them. You have to devise a way to give it to them at their level.
Here go the Chinese restaurant right here, across the street right there. That's why that used to be my meal every day. Every day, a half a chicken with French fries, with an iced tea. It used to be a supermarket right here on 169th, but it closed years ago, and they never put a supermarket back there. So the supermarkets is far away from where I live at. So and they go to a whole bunch of different fast food joints around here, which is McDonald's and there's a White Castle. Hey, how you doing, Pop? Could I get fish and salad, please? A piece of fish and salad? Okay, thank you. The last time I was here, I took the A1C.
It was 6.3. If your number is 6.3 at that, I'm happy with that. Okay. So what have you been doing? How did you lose all this weight?
Well, like I said, I
Healthy road.
Mother and my grandson, they're my life. And I want to be here. I want to see her get married. I want to see him get married, go off to college. I want to be around. So in order to do that, I have to get healthy. I have to get healthy.
Well, if I wasn't rooted into this chair, I would stand up and give you a standing ovation there. Thank you so much, Dr. Reich, and you too. I must say, Ms. Quinn, you look great. It works, right?
Yeah, it definitely does.
The first thing, I have so much to say now. Of course, we'll never have enough time. The first thing that I have to say, just from looking from the outside, these are and have been forgotten people. That's the way it looks to me. This is a population that, well, okay, so the diabetes numbers or the asthma numbers or obesity, and nobody seemed to care, right? And so when you came in there, and we were talking while we were watching the video, people really did not know, number one, what causes the problems, and as Ms. Quinn identified, what could solve the problems.
Well, it's interesting, in the traditional way of delivering health care, and Ms. Quinn mentioned it, we hand out a pill, and we expect the consumer, the patient, to take that pill. What we realized is that doesn't work. That's broken. We need to fix it. And so this initiative is the beginning of attempting to fix that. We use people from the community to educate the people in the community, which is extremely powerful, using peer education. We do home visits with our community health worker. That's Cassandra Ayala. She goes and actually makes home visits and explains in the home. We've also recognized that it's not just addressing the medical or biological issue. You have to talk about the psychological and social issues that also exist. It's hard to take your medication if you don't have a job or you don't have health insurance or your housing is unstable.
And not only that, you need to change your behavior. And people who work at a senior center and others really have to change a full pattern of life. What do your friends and neighbors say about this? They're happy to participate, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they're very happy. We really need more. We don't have enough. What is being done is great, but we need greater.
And when you say more, what kinds of things are you thinking about?
More programs like the one that Cassandra runs,
so that more people can participate.
A lot of people don't know, and these programs is great. You get a lot of knowledge out of them. In 2 years, I've learned what I didn't learn in 20 years,
And one thing that the doctor mentioned, and I'm going to extrapolate to the next step, it's also a matter of giving you and your neighbors a little respect that probably you have never, because you've been passed over. Nobody's ever stopped to say, you know what, let's make sure these people understand what it is that afflicts them and how they can work their way out, right?
Exactly.
I have to repeat, because I said it to them you look great.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know you don't like to say it in public, but you lost weight, and that's what this is about, and you've done it the right way. So what have you done? You've eaten well?
I've changed. I love sweets. Sweets is my...
Oh, who doesn't?
Sweets is my killer.
Well, literally and figuratively.
Right, so I try to cut out the sweets with some help. Some of the starches. I was doing a little bit of exercise, but I have knee problems, so I don't, do it. So it's more like the vegetables and less white starches.
Right, Dr. Reich, so it's important now to look at the access to those kinds of things. I mean, she's got the idea, but it's one thing to say, I want to buy fruits and vegetables. Another thing, which we saw in the video quite clearly, that all we have is fast food restaurants. We got, the fast Chinese food, and the grocery store closed. What can you do? What are you doing to say, you know what? This is what we have to have in here. It seems to me we need a grocer who can make a fortune if he does it the right way.
No, absolutely. And that's part of the collaboration. We mentioned a couple of organizations. We also worked with an organization called Grow NYC, which actually brought in last summer, and they're going to do it again this summer, what's called the Food Box Program. And they actually have a prepaid, or you can pay as they arrive, from upstate farmers. They bring the fresh fruits and vegetables
down
here.
Like to the street corner.
Yeah, and it's sold to folks that come in. And this is extremely healthy fruits and vegetables that would be available.
I'm going to ask both of you to answer this question. Was it a hard sell to some of the people who are used to, frankly, eating a certain way to say, look, this is really, it's almost like telling a little kid you got to eat your vegetables and he doesn't want to do it. Was it a hard sell?
Hard sell's the understatement. And the reason I say that is because there are fruits.
Because she likes sweets.
Well, and also there are fruits and vegetables in that bag that we don't know how to prepare, or folks didn't know how to prepare because they're so accustomed to that.
What was it hard to change your? Because we're asking you to change lifestyle and behavior and the way you cook and the way you eat. Was it hard?
It was very hard. When you're accustomed to fried chicken, baked chicken doesn't do it for you. It's just something you have to put in your mind that I need this in order to be healthy. I might not like it, but I need it. And with me, I need it because I want to be healthy.
Doctor knows more about it than I do, but you were boasting about some numbers. You want to tell how well you've done? Are you willing to share that?
Well, basically, when I first started going to Fulton Family Medicine, I was a wreck. I went in there with a 17, which was, the doctor was like, you're still walking around? So we worked on it. We got it down to a 10, but I could not get past the 10 until I started working with Cassandra.
And where are you at now?
6.4.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
right, there you go.
Fantastic.
And so I guess for you, Doctor, we'll give you the final word. For people who are interested maybe in their community to come in, or what should they do? Just contact you? Or
Absolutely. We have a website. We have the Bronx Lebanon Hospital Center website. We have the Department of Family Medicine website, and you can contact us that way.
Right, and it's up on the screen there.
Yep.
My closing word is just what was most fascinating to me is what you said, and that is the collaboration. The American Diabetes Association was there. American Cancer Society was there, but nobody ever said, hey, let's take a global look at this, which is really the only way we're going to solve this and so many other problems.
Absolutely.
Dr. Doug Wright, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And Miriam Quinn, keep going, right?
There we
go. Her daughter is here, and she's going to make it to that wedding, I can guarantee you that.
Yes.
No pressure, I assure you. Anyway, listen, if you have further questions or comments on anything you heard or saw on tonight's show or anything going on in the Bronx, then email them to us at bronxtalk@bronxnet.org, or post them on our Facebook page, and we'll read them on the air during a future edition of our program. You can become a fan of Bronx Talk on Facebook. Get all the news first. You can see our archives at bronxnet.org and check out the Bronx Talk link on the bottom right navigation bar. And you can see, you want to see that video again or show it to your friends, you can do it right there. Now, here's our schedule for the upcoming weeks. Next week, in advance of Father's Day, a show about Bronx fatherhood. Then make a note, June 16th, it will be the debate for the 13th Congressional District. Congressman Charles Rangel, Senator Adriano Espaillat, and Reverend Michael Walron have confirmed their participation, so it should be an informative and interesting program. The debate for the 13th Congressional District, June 16th. June 23rd, a fascinating study of two Bronx neighborhoods told in a very direct and unique way. And you don't know what I'm referring to, but when you tune in, you'll enjoy it, I'm sure. Should be fun. Anyway, thanks to producer Jane Filoro. Our director is Shirley Arrieta. Thanks to the folks here for the great things they're doing in our borough. And we'll see you next week.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.